think this is a good place to actually open, since you opened the door to this and talking about the Water to Wine Gospel Day
Yeah.
Party.
Yeah.
So, all right. What's been really, really dope is listening to these mixes and these blends that you've been doing. Cause I'm like, oh, that's all right.
Right.
Okay. Where it's like, all right, folks are going to be ready to hit the floor to these songs.
Yes.
Um, Tell us about how the concept for this event came about
Yes.
and what you hope people get from it.
I love that. Okay, so how it came about. So as we've already talked about, like I have tons of gospel influences. I have tons of like R&B influences, and I just started DJing like last year, and so my experiences are still really new. But all of my gigs thus far have been private gigs. So like corporate gigs or private gigs where, it's not anything I can invite somebody to. It's like a company, like a shout out to like Slutty Vegan. Like I was doing some gigs for them, or shout out to my friend's law school, Atlanta's John Marshall. Like I played their barrister's ball. So like it's like private events. And so when I thought about kind of having my own event, I just was kind of like, what do I want to do? And like, how can I do things different? Because I feel like Atlanta is the brunch/day party capital of the United States. I mean, y'all can find me. I mean, DC has a good record too, and we're going to DC next, but Atlanta is just that for me. And so I thought about like, where can I plug in and how can I get people engaged? And so me and my friend was kind of talking, like I was like, I just wish somebody would ask me to do like a gospel brunch because I know gospel music and now and I know what hits. And so he was just like, well, why don't you just do it yourself? And I'm like, right, why don't I? And so it just came about, and jokingly, I kind of tweeted about it where I was like, "Hey, I want to have a day party where I play nothing but gospel music, but everybody can like still drink and like do whatever they do." And it kind of went mini viral. So, it didn't go like thousands viral, but it got like in that 150 range where I was like, "Oh, okay, people are interested in this." So I just started kind of like just canvassing people, kind of building it out, kind of thinking about the set, and I was just like, "Oh no, we're definitely going to do this." And you know, I think sometimes you work things backwards. So obviously that was kind of like, I love gospel music. I want to play that as my first public gig. But then you start rolling it back and thinking about, wow, we're in a space now where like the Roe v. Wade stuff that happened,
Mm-hmm.
Ukraine is happening,
Mm-hmm.
all the stuff that we're regularly going through, COVID, monkeypox. And it's just like, I love what DJ Sardane was saying earlier about just creating spaces where you can escape and really just have a moment of break where you're not faced with the troubles of the world. And, day parties do that anyway, but I thought like, what better vehicle to do that with gospel music? And, gospel is like that translation of good news. And I felt like it's just so appropriate right now where gospel is such a universal thing, like where I think
Mm.
that we're like, oh, I don't really know a lot of gospel music, but I'm like, y'all do, y'all really know so much more than you realize. And just kind of hearing those affirming messages and those chants and
Mm.
those anthems that you just are kind of like, things are gonna get better. I am healed. You're just kind of singing and saying those things on on a subconscious level, but as you're, saying and saying those things, it does, take effect and it is very impactful. And so I thought like, hey, let's do this. This is Atlanta. We're in the Bible Belt. We're in the South. Like, people know what time it is. And so that's where it came from. And I just want people to have that experience. I want people to come feeling like, wow, like, I feel refreshed. I feel like I had a break from my day to day. I feel like, the words that I was singing over myself really did, have an impact on the rest of my summer, back to school, all those kinds of things. So that's, that was the intention behind it.